Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. We got some more Hawks and Braves content coming to you live. We got some really good information coming to you guys on the homestand this past week. The Hawks go 2-1 on the homestand. They lose to the Jazz, but beat the Bucks in a blowout fashion, 117-98. And we'll discuss the Hawks beating the 76ers last night, 104-95, in a game that really shouldn't have been as close as it was. When the Hawks took their foot off the gas pedal in the final minutes. And then also at the end of the show, we're going to be discussing a little bit of Braves talk with the Braves extending a qualifying offer to shortstop Dansby Swanson as he is central for the Braves in this offseason, as well as the Braves making a trade once again. Alex Anthopoulos sending Jake Odorizzi to the Texas Rangers and cash over there for Braves prospect Kobe Allard. So he comes back. Again, we see Alex Anthopoulos playing chess instead of checkers. But without further ado, we got our first-time guest on the show this week. Blue, I'll let you introduce yourself. How's it going?
I'm going good. How's it doing out there, world, internet world, social media world? Going good. Glad to be here today. Glad for the invite. I know it was a struggle to get me on. I was trying, trying to get on, but I'm on here today, and we're gonna make it see what it can do.
Glad to have you on for sure. Oh, seems to we have lost Roundtable just there, but I'm sure technical difficulty. Sorry about that. He'll be right back. But we're gonna get into some Hawks talk here for sure. As well as we get Roundtable back here. Can you hear me, Roundtable?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep. How you been? How you been this evening? And what are you looking forward to discuss tonight?
I've been fine, man. Glad to be back on with y'all boys. Looking to discuss, the Hawks keeping hot, staying hot, and just minimizing the mistakes that we've been having. That way we can lock everything in and continue to put the wins together back to back like we do.
Yeah, I definitely think this homestand this week, the 2-1 homestand, was a step in the right direction for the Hawks. Trae Young really hasn't hit his stride yet, and the Hawks are still sitting in great position in the standings. So it's really been the best of both worlds for the Hawks. Like, you want the Hawks to start off great, and we've started off 8-4 with a 4 seed currently. So great start from the Hawks. But Trae Young hasn't even hit his stride yet in terms of his shooting, and we're still 8-4. So we're sitting pretty right now in terms of how the Hawks are looking on the defensive end and the offensive end as well. And with that, we'll get into our first topic here as we discuss the Hawks beating down on the Bucks 117-98. This game at first looked like it was going to be a blowout in the Bucks' favor. The Bucks hit 6 of their first 6 threes. Grayson Allen knocked down 3 threes. Brook Lopez, it seems like when he plays the Hawks, always turns into Steph Curry against us. He was knocking down threes from 30 feet. So it started bad. But the Hawks in the second half really turned it around. And in the second quarter, they didn't allow the game to get out of hand, which was important. I really think in that third quarter, one of the differences was live ball turnovers. What did you guys see in that third quarter in the second half that allowed the Hawks to really jump out to a crazy lead there?
First off, like they always say, it starts with the defense. And that young dude off the bench, I forget his name. The young one that we just pulled off the bench from the practice squad who been with us for a good little minute. I think this is his second year. Like they say, his offense, yeah, Jalen Johnson. I wrote JJ down right here. His defense is what really got him on the court, but it's also his offense. But if he can start with his defense, that defense is like when you got more than one person playing defense for Atlanta Hawks, it looks amazing out there because we are able to get up and down. We are able to run.
Yeah, I really like Jalen Johnson's defense so far, and that was one of the topics that was heavily discussed, especially on Hawks Twitter last year, was the defensive liability that Jalen Johnson is in the few minutes that we saw him. His offensive game, we know he can get out in transition. We know he's an athletic big who's got his jump shot, but the defensive stops on Zion, for example, picking his pocket when we played the Pelicans. The defensive stops on Giannis. He had a block in an ISO possession against Giannis. I mean, these are great flashes from Jalen Johnson about the defense that he can provide. As we see Blackberry joining us to discuss some Hawks talk. How's it going, Blackberry?
BB.
What's happening, man? What's happening? Hey, man, when I turned it on, man, for a second, I thought I was looking at Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
He got it, didn't he? Look like Kyrie on camera, man.
Dude, the Bucks, and in terms of offensive end roundtable, what did you think the Hawks did exceptionally well in that second half to get out to that big lead?
Like I've always said and been telling y'all, is that the defense has been leading the offense. With Trey being out, first of all, DeJounte know he has to and his defense is what we've been needing, that perimeter defense. Interior is gonna be okay. John Collins can do what he do. Capella does what he does, but that exterior defense, the perimeter defense, is what we've been needing because folks shoot lights out with us from the 3-point line. So turning that defense into offense led to good little bit of fast break points, and we were able to turn the game around.
Yeah, and the 3-point shooting for the Hawks has really been one of the weaknesses of this team, but they shot 37% from 3 against the Bucks earlier this week, so that was good to see. Good to see getting their shot back. Justin Holiday really played well in that game off the bench. He had 14 points and hit 4 or 7 from 3. His shooting slump is over. A lot of people were really on Justin Holiday saying, "Oh, this guy is just he's a bad shooter." He's a 36% 3-point shooter for his career, so we knew he was gonna come back. And Blackberry, I know DeJounte. You love to talk about DeJounte against the Bucks with Trae Young out. This man stepped up and took 9 threes for 25 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, and added 3 steals as well. He's shooting the best percentage this year for our Hawks from the 3-point line. What does that say about DeJounte and his growth, especially for the people that said, "Oh, DeJounte can't shoot, he needs the ball"?
Well, it shows a couple things. It shows, of course, his growth. It shows his growth, and it also shows Nate McMillan's growth. And let me tell you why. I keep telling folks that when DeJounte was over in a Popovich system, he was handcuffed. He was limited to how much of his athleticism he could use for plays to be made through him. So now over here with Nate knows this is a guy that's uber talented. This guy has a lot of skill set at the guard position with handling the ball, distributing the ball, and also shooting the ball. He didn't get shooting opportunities that he's getting here in San Antonio. He may have scored a lot of points, but they weren't necessarily points that came from him jump shooting. They were points from him driving to the paint, and they were points from him getting putbacks. That's why he almost averaged a triple-double. So it shows his growth as well as Nate's growth, but what was impressive in that Bucks game was his awareness of when to be a distributor and when to be a scorer. That was very impressive. And that's because we know where he get that from. He was in a Popovich system. He has to know how to be a facilitator first. He has to know how to be a playmaker first. And then pick and choose when to shoot. And for him to be able to go from I can be aggressive because I got Trae Young on playing with me to go, okay, no Trae Young. Now I have to be a little bit more conservative and a little bit more picky with my shot selection. He did that phenomenally in that Bucks game.
Yeah.
And
you can over.
Oh yeah, and it complemented it transferred right over into the other players, understanding that we're going to have opportunities because DeJounte's going to make a lot of opportunities, and because we got those defensive perimeter threats, you're going to have a lot of opportunity there too in the fast break game. Love the fast break this year. the fast break is very refreshing this year.
And DeJounte has a big impact on that. I keep saying we were last and dead last in fast break points last year, so it's really good to see. Michael Sykes says the Hawks look better without Troy on the floor, and I mean, on defense, I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah, but that'll be without Trey on the floor. That's about 26 points off the board that we missing already.
Yep.
And but it's a gift and a curse with Trey. It's a gift and a curse. He on, he off, he's still on. But at the same time, when he just don't shoot, and then it be the little him and John Collins. Like John Collins, I believe he needs the ball in his hand a little bit more. He's not a good dribbler, but at the same time, he can inbound and give it to Trey. He can inbound and give it to DJ DeJounte. I'm gonna call him Ja Morant. He put me in the mind on him a little bit, but he's a little bit more fundamental because he did come for that Tim Duncan, that pop era. But at the same time, man, the Hawks are they playing phenomenal. They playing lights out. But when it was time for him to take over, he took over so smoothly. Like he didn't complain. He didn't give no body language at all. He just said he basically, like you said, he calmed down and was like, okay, I can't be as aggressive now. I gotta still stay aggressive, but at the same time, I can't show face out here right now. Big man gone, shit. This what they brought me in for, to step up and take control of the team. Second team, first team. We out here. Let's go.
And we got JB over here saying shooting unnecessary threes is what kills the team, and the ball moves better without Trey. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think DeJounte.
I haven't seen that this year.
DeJounte is shooting the most threes in his career. I don't think there are a lot of unnecessary threes, though. He's shooting.
Unless he's talking about Trey Young unnecessary threes.
Okay.
And really, I haven't seen a lot of that out of Trey. Trey's been more attacking
his shot. He's picking it. He's tactical. That he attacker, the basket.
Yeah, he's been more of an attacker than he has been of a shooter this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mostly because they're running the floor half court now. They half court running. It's not nobody's a light pole on this offense anymore. Everybody's moving around, including
quick question. Clint Capella. How many points is he averaging this year?
Hold on. What? Not as much as he averaged. Well, I want to get to Clint Capella in a minute because I got a lot to say.
Okay.
But Trey is
10. Okay.
Trey is in a shooting slump right now. We've seen, like I said at the beginning of the show, the Hawks are 8-4 with Trey Young, their best player, shooting at his worst career efficiency since his rookie year. And that's a good sign that we're 8-4. Once Trey Young finds his shot, it's going to be over. It's going to be scary hours for the league, man. I mean, we can get even better, which is nuts. And one of the reasons why the Bucks really got down a lot in this game is our bench. The trio of Onyeka Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, and AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin dropping 24 big ones in that game against the Bucks. He shot the ball with so much confidence in that game, and it was awesome to see. And really, this play right here. I mean, when have you seen AJ Griffin take the ball up off a rebound like he's a point guard? Except in this game right here. I mean, as we see here, he gets the rebound.
I'll tell you what, it's been a
crosses over on Wesley Matthews. Matthews goes under the screen. AJ, easy three.
He was showing Coach, hey, I need some more minutes out here, Coach.
Yeah, and he's been really
playing
good.
For minutes now.
He's been really good. Once Bogey comes back, I can see Justin Holiday and Aaron Holiday's minutes getting decreased. But what did you guys think? Roundtable. What did you think of the young trio off the bench and the impact they made, especially with Onyeka, Jalen, and AJ Griffin?
I'm loving it. Like we've always talked about in Blackberry and said, or with Coach Nate, period. we always said last year we felt like he should have given the people that were, of more time. He was so stuck in his ways, but having this off season and actually talking to the team and getting feedback on it, we see, okay, yeah, this is what's gonna work. This is what the new movement is in the NBA, and it's working for the Grizzlies. It's working for other teams. So for us to use it as well, and it's working for us too. Like you can actually see what they need. And with younger players, a lot of times, a lot of them just really need confidence. I shoot it and it don't go in, keep shooting. It's gonna eventually fall. We know AJ Griffin has that peel on his arm. We know he can knock it down, but he just needs that opportunity to show that. So that's all I say.
Yeah, that's a great point. And last thing for this game and going into the Jazz game, which will recap, unfortunately, a loss. Clint Capella has been absolutely on a tear this week. These past 4 games, Clint Capella, 70 rebounds, 70 on 4 games for Clint Capella. He has been that guy that we saw 2 years ago that was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, a legit DPOY candidate. And when Clint Capella's playing like this and you got OO coming off the bench, those 2 centers, having those 2 guys playing elite center defense is really important for this team. I mean, he's been amazing these past 4 games, putting up 20 boards against the Pelicans and 19 last night against Philly.
Well, I got a feeling somebody want to go another direction.
Oh, I can't understand wanting to trade Capella away from the team. I can't. What is your guys' opinion on that? I don't see a better fit for this team than Clint Capella.
Man, Clint Capella need to give us some more points. He need to at least be a threat on the ball. He's an off-ball defensive threat. I'm saying they need to be like, okay, you know how Al Horford was and Josh Smith was? Oh, he's not gonna take that shot. No, take that shot and make it. He get the ball, and he gets stuck in one spot. I need Clint Capella to at least take 4 steps. Move your feet, man. Move your feet. That's all I gotta say. Clint is good. I don't knock Clint, but at the same time, I need him
on offense unless it's an alley.
Yep. That's the
hey. Get the ball. He do not need the ball over than 3 seconds. They get stuck.
It's only 3 situations. Okay, there's only 3 situations on offense when Clint Capella gets the ball. If it's an alley-oop, an offensive rebound, or at the top of the key to set a pick. That's it.
That's true.
They're not going to him on offense to score. That's not why they going to him on offense. I don't need him to give us more points.
Yeah,
I don't need it. I like what he's doing. Crashing boards, getting blocks, being stingy on the boards. That I like. What I don't need him to be a scorer. I need him to be.
Okay.
Being what's his name?
Okongwu getting us all around.
Yeah, Okongwu, that mid-range shot has looked really good. Oh, yeah. And I'm glad he was able to develop that this offseason. He's looked really confident in taking those shots, which is great to see, because he had said in his post-game conference after last season's rough series against the Heat, the next time you see me, I'm going to have a jump shot. He said that, and he followed it up. And he has that mid-range jump shot. Last night, Joel Embiid was leaving him wide open for the mid-range. He didn't even believe he could shoot. Onyeka was just like, hey, watch this. Boom. That's like 6 points, 8 points from the mid-range already. So he was really good.
Are the Sixers one of our topics? Is that one of the topics?
Yeah, we're gonna get into the Sixers deep dive into the Sixers win after the Jazz game. We're just going in order. So we talk about the Bucks.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure before I make a comment.
Oh yeah, for sure. That game was amazing. That amazing, by the way, meaning that it was such poor basketball that the Hawks came away with the win because both teams were terrible on offense. But if anybody got any last thoughts on this Bucks game before we move on to the Jazz game?
Yeah, that guy Onyeka Okongwu, man. Every time he has a big challenge in front of him with Giannis Antetokounmpo or Joel Embiid or Karl Anthony Towns, he balls his behind off. If he plays against everybody else the way he plays against those guys when he got to face them, he'll be dominant in this league, man. He'll be dominant.
I think that's a great point and that's a great segue into the Jazz game. Does anybody have any final thoughts on this Bucks game? No? Okay. So we'll move on to the Jazz game, and that's a great segue because Onyeka Okongwu in the Jazz game was a liability. He was not good. Walker Kessler off the bench for the Jazz absolutely made Onyeka Okongwu look like a rookie when he was the rookie. Walker Kessler off the bench, while his box score is not going to scream superstar game at you. He had 12 and 6 with 3 blocks in 16 minutes and was 100% from the field. He definitely turned the game on the head for the Jazz when the Hawks came back in that third quarter. We actually had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, but when he came in, he definitely set the tone. And the Jazz bench was really what did us in. The Jazz starters mostly were in the negative for plus minus, except for Jordan Clarkson was a plus 16. The bench, everybody was good except Colin Sexton. Everybody had a plus 10 or better. So our bench, as good as they were against the Bucks, our bench was bad against the Jazz. We had our bench was all over minus 14. So that's what you live and die with young players. You know, AJ, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu. They're not going to have it every single night, and that's why they're young. They're going to continue to get better. But what did you guys think in that Jazz game of Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz offense? They're just shooting the 3 ball, chucking it, and making it. He looks like the most improved player easily by now, and looks like an all-star. It's crazy that the transformation that Lauri Markkanen has gone through this season so far.
Shit, most of these teams got to match our backcourt. They picking up where we left off last year. While we steady moving, they playing pickup ball. We already played horse.
Yup.
Yeah,
100%, bro.
I mean, you saw Malik Beasley and Jordan Clarkson, 2 guys that, you know, as Dominique loves to say, they have no conscience. They're gonna shoot that ball and not care if it goes in. The next possession, they could shoot a heavily contested jumper, and they're gonna shoot it. It doesn't matter. But they were going in for the Jazz especially in the second half, and we couldn't allow that to happen after the hot start that the Jazz had.
How many teams had ice water vein 3-point shooters before Steph Curry? How many got them after Trae Young?
Not a lot.
Some teams loading up with 2-3 all coming off the bench. We just let 2 go. Not Bogey, the one we faced. What's his name? We let her to go, and the other one, the big Gallinari.
Well, yeah.
Hey, but you gotta have, if you ain't chucking up threes and making them, and you chucking up threes and missing them, they got a place for you. And so when they face the Hawks, that's when they let it go.
Yeah, that's exactly what Black
Live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Exactly.
But you know what? The Jazz are surprisingly a very good team. You don't expect a group of shooters to be doing what they're doing, because that's what they are. They're a group of shooters, and
that's quick.
They're actually getting to the basket too. These guys surprisingly, man, they're a very good team. Now I ain't gonna take too much stock into it this early. You know, it could just be everybody shooting at a hot clip right now. Eventually, the hot clip cools down, and we'll see what it looked like when you've been on the road for 5 games or 6 games, then you got to go home for 1 game, then back on the road for another 3 games. We're gonna see if your legs stay under you with all that shooting around that you do. but they are very impressive. But the thing is, same thing with who was that we was playing earlier this year? The Pistons. They were hot from three, and when that cooled down, they tried to get aggressive coming inside. But by then, it's too late to start to try to go back to the three because it's hard keeping up with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and this supporting cast, man. It's hard because these guys can score a win, and they have excellent defense. So, big up to the Jazz. They got one on us. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean they're
seeing one more
they're
time.
number one seed in the West at 10-3 right now on the Jazz. Lowry Markkanen put up 32 against us, and Jordan Clarkson had 23. Those were the two main guys. The Hawks really put themselves behind the eight ball though at the beginning of this game because the first 9 points for the Jazz were all scored off of free throws, and we put the Jazz in the bonus in the first quarter with 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. And
let me ask you this, Mikey. Let me ask you this: is Markkanen is he an MVP candidate at this juncture?
Yes, I mean they're the number one seed in the West. He's averaging 24 points per game, I think it is. At right now, yeah. Do I think he'll be the MVP? Hell no.
But he got a real high field goal percentage too.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Who would have thought? Nobody would have guessed that guy was going to be an MVP candidate, bro.
Yeah, it's nuts. But against the Jazz, we saw Trae Young really have, in my opinion, against the Jazz, in my opinion, one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. Obviously, he scored 22 points and had 9 assists, and 2 steals, good counting stats. But the shots that Trae Young was taking, these are shots he makes in his sleep. The easy floaters, the lobs, and the open 3-pointers. He wasn't making the type of shots he normally makes. And
he slapped him in the eye and poked him in the eye with all 5 of his fingers.
He did. That was But what's strange is, last night we had Trae. He didn't shoot well again, but he played much better still than the Jazz game. He tweeted after the Jazz game, "I got to be better for my dogs. Trust me."
But you know what? He typically doesn't shoot well.
Yeah.
If we go by the standards of the great shooters of the league and of history, he doesn't shoot like them. He has a terrible shooting percentage compared to the top shooters of the league. But this is what I want fans to realize. All the fans that say we look better without Trae Young on the floor. First of all, a guy don't lead the league in total points and total assists, and you trade him away. That's stupid. Okay. Second of all,
nightmare.
Regardless of how he get them almost 30 points, almost 12 assists a game, regardless of how he gets those, I'm gonna take it. If he getting 30 points a game and he's scoring at a 32%, I don't care. I'll take it because it's still 32 points. It's still 30 points. It's still 12 assists. I'll take it. Just saying.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Trae Young's never been like an elite shooter and with elite efficiency in his career, but right now it's the worst efficiency since his rookie year. He's going to get better. I know the shooting is going to come up a little bit from where it is, so I'm not worried about him. Round table, I know for the in the Jazz game, DeAndre Hunter and John Collins had good games, but I've noticed in a lot of Hawks fans across Twitter have noticed that sometimes John Collins and DeAndre Hunter, when they have a good game, oftentimes the Hawks will lose the game, and Trae Young has a bad night. Have you noticed this pattern, and what do you think you think there's any legitimacy to it?
I've noticed the pattern a little bit, but that just comes with when you're trying to get other players involved. When it starts to look like, Trae's scoring over 30, DeJounte's scoring almost 30, and then John Collins and Hunter is getting mid-20s. it's nothing too much more you can ask for from your starting five. Because we know Capella's not going to score in the mid-20s. It got to be a off game from everybody if he's scoring that much, because that's off of putbacks or lobs. But, I mean, from your third and fourth options, I don't mind them scoring that much. But you just have to find a way to balance it out. It comes with a long season. Basketball's a long season. Baseball's an even longer season. But basketball's a long season. 82 games is a long time, and we ain't nothing but 12 games in. So you're not even a quarter of the way. So it'll work itself out.
Is it 12 games?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I like what DSGP is saying here. Trey needs to keep using that floater. Yeah, he definitely just needs to keep shooting. We know he has one of the best floaters in the league. And while it didn't go down against the Jazz game, he quickly turned it around. He was hitting the floaters really early, and then opened a lot of stuff last night in the 76ers game, which we'll get to. And I have some film to analyze in there too. But for the Jazz game, we saw DeJounte had another great game. 26, 6 and 5, 11 for 20 shooting. And he's taking more threes too, 1 of 5 from 3. But the Hawks shot 28% from 3, and the Jazz shot 43% from 3. That's not going to cut it. That's really the main thing for me in that loss. That number is just what lost this game, because the Jazz didn't turn it over a lot. They only turned it over 13 times. We turned it over 11 times. But those missed shots, the easy bunnies that we were missing. Clint Capella missing layups at the rim. Trae Young was missing layups at the rim. That was really the difference in the game, in my opinion.
The Jazz.
Blue, what'd you say? I think you're frozen.
Okay, good.
You're good. What did you say about the Jazz?
I say, yeah, the Jazz. They came out a little bit, not a lot better. Just came out. They executed their game plan. They came out and they stuck to what they needed and wanted to do. I don't think we got casual. Nah, I don't think we underestimated them. It just came out to execution. When you missing shots, the rim is either bigger than what the ball is, or the ball bigger than what the rim is.
Yep. I like that. Yeah. I don't think we didn't play like we underestimated them. We were missing the shots normally that you'd see us hitting, and unfortunately they weren't going in. And that's really what I saw about the Jazz. But that third quarter, once we went up 10, that was the only point in the game where I felt like it was going into the fourth quarter. We're like, okay, I think we have this game. We're up by double digits. I think the Hawks took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit there. And that was the thing for me that was like, oh no, the Jazz were in a hurry, and Malik Beasley torched us in that fourth quarter, shooting a lot of threes, and Jordan Clarkson as well. So that was the key turning point for me in the game, because we had been playing from behind the entire game, and I want to know how we let our guard down. The Jazz scored 40 points in the fourth quarter to our 29, and that sealed the game right there. That stretch.
Yeah, that turned the call.
Yep, 40
Let
points.
Me put off the gas.
40 points, and that stretch in the beginning of the game where we allowed them to score their first points off of free throws, that got John Collins in foul trouble, DeAndre Hunter in foul trouble, and
that's one thing I don't like. They get our big men in foul trouble real quick. It be fouls that ain't even a foul. Like sometimes, but then they come down on our end of the goal, and then we get a foul, and it get called against us. Like, are y'all not seeing? Or we don't even get a foul. Man just got brutally hacked, and you make an NFL goddamn type decision. You waiting 3 seconds to call the dang on flag.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Penalty to foul. They tripping. Man get beat up down there. Number ball.
In this game, I thought the refs, the first few fouls, we fouled the Jazz for, like I keep saying, the 9 straight points at the beginning of the game. Those were legit fouls. We definitely fouled them on those 4 fouls. But having Trae Young shoot 0, I'll repeat, Trae Young shooting 0 attempts from the line in a game is absurd. That he definitely got fouled there. I mean, there's, especially with a great he draws a lot of fouls, and there's no way. I guarantee you, there's no way he legit didn't shoot a free throw in that game. Anybody else?
It's all about what they can push the next narrative to be. You know, it is all these everything right now in team sports, especially football and basketball, man. It just feels like it's just so much being steered by outside entities of the sport. Call me a conspiracy or whatever, but the Utah Jazz, a team that nobody think would be anywhere near having this record at this point of the season, they probably didn't have them winning a game till like the first 20 games of the season or something like that. And here they are looking this good. Oh, let's keep this narrative going. How dare we let the Atlanta Hawks win a damn media narrative in a damn headline? How dare the Atlanta Hawks? Because think about this.
They gave us a headline. How about to say they gave us a headline?
But that's a flash in the pan headline. If we beat both number one teams back to back,
right,
in their respective conferences, you have no choice but to make us front page headline. You have no choice. But we know they don't want that. They don't want Atlanta being front page anything in sports. Just saying, man. Go ahead, Mikey, because I'll be going on forever. Boy. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Did y'all have anything else you wanted to specifically point at to that Jazz loss? I know Joshua. Did you have anything? Did you want to say?
No, I ain't see too much of it, so I'll let y'all handle this.
Okay, gotcha. Blue, did you have anything to add before I add some closing comments on the game?
No, sir.
No, yeah. So overall, this game, and this was one I had said in some Twitter spaces after the game. Don't panic about this game. This game, Trae Young had one of the worst performances of the season. Well, he's not going to continue shooting like this. We're going to be better than this. And while Lauri Markkanen is playing out of his mind, shooting like this, and Jordan Clarkson's had a good season, the Jazz have played well. We went into a hot shooting team, and looking at the box score for the Hawks, it was interesting because we scored all five of our starters in double digits. Capella had 15 and 19, but really the main reason I thought the Jazz, like I said in the beginning, their bench was really good, and it outplayed our bench, and it showed. Walker Kessler really got us down the stretch there, as well as Malik Beasley in the second half, putting up 18 points, all on 6 threes. So those are my big takeaways from the game. But I don't think we should be panicking too much. Going into last night,
because no. Oh, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's move on. Now I have other opportunities to talk about it. Go ahead. Like I said, I'll be going on forever, man. Just go.
All right. So moving on to last night's game, the Hawks beat the 76ers 104-95, and really, this should have been by at least like 20 points, 15 points. The Hawks were up by 20 with 5 minutes to go. And Doc Rivers says, you know what? Or as many people call him, as they like to roast him, Glenn Rivers, MD, takes the bench out, takes the starters out and empties his bench. He puts in Montrezl Harrell, puts in Furkan Korkmaz, puts in Paul Reed. And these guys, Matisse Thybulle, and these guys brought them back into the game with 5 minutes. They went on a 13-2 run and brought them back into the game. And it was ultimately too late for the 76ers to make this comeback. But the Hawks really almost gave the game away in the final 4 minutes with a 20-point lead. And that's scary because they did give away a game. They almost gave away the game against the Pelicans as well last week when they were up 10 within the final 2.5 minutes of the game. We got to do a better job of taking care of the ball down the stretch. That was scary, to be honest. I mean, Shake Milton went to the line with 2 minutes and some change to go. He could have cut it to a 5-point game. He missed a free throw, but he could have cut it to 5. I mean, it was when you all were watching that. What was going through y'all's heads?
I wasn't too worried because I know when this team wants to, when the Hawks want to really lock in on defense, they will. And it could be the second unit or the first unit, or it could be a lot of different other personnel packages on the floor. Any personnel package we have, even with Trae Young in it, has when they want to lock down defensively, they can. Trae Young's defense is better. It's still what it is, but it's
I was
better.
surprised he stole the ball the other night. What? That's Trae
Yeah.
Young? Oh shit!
But he been doing that. He been making those attempts to get in between those passing lanes a lot more often. I think what Nate McMillan did with him and with Jalen Johnson is he both took them to the side and said, "This is what we're gonna work on with you all for your roles on this team." Trae, we know you the superstar. We know what it is that you do, but we need to add an element to your game. Instead of you being a light pole over there in the corner, we need you to be at least interrupting passing lanes. So that's what he's been doing. So he's actually following guys now, and he's interrupting passing lanes. And with Jalen Johnson, he told Jalen Johnson, "You're not going to get a lot of offensive opportunities because that's not your role. But you want to know how you're going to get points, get steals, get blocks, get rebounds." And that's what he has been doing, Jalen Johnson. So
and play them wings.
I wasn't too worried because exactly. So I wasn't too worried when I seen the little surge coming in that first quarter, led by who I think we might need to be, talking to the Philadelphia 76ers in some trade negotiations for in Montrezl Harrell.
Man, what?
I wasn't too worried.
Man,
he doesn't have a spot in the rotation.
I like Montrezl Harrell as an enforcer on the second unit.
I mean,
he's too good of an enforcer. Put him on the third unit.
Yeah, the third unit. I agree. Put him on the third unit. Yes,
or
sir.
the third unit.
But
third unit. Yeah.
Put him in the back. Yeah,
not second unit, third unit.
You gotta come in guard.
He'll been beat LeBron
up. But I mean, this game we saw Trae shoot a little bit better. He still shot 7 of 21, which is but he's getting there. He's getting there, and hopefully he'll be able to get that efficiency up to where we normally are seeing it from him. But this game, the star was, I mean, you got 26 points, but Clint Capella, 20 rebounds and 18 points and a whopping plus 24. 24 plus 24 on the floor. Clint Capella has been dominant in these last 4 games. Like I said, 70 rebounds over these last 4 games.
Against Joel Embiid, plus 2.
Against Joel Embiid. And while Embiid will get his, we know Clint Capella struggles one-on-one against good centers. Like, Embiid, Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns. Well, he's power forward now, but in the past. So, but the key to that game last night was noticing how Clint Capella was able to cut off driving lanes and make Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, DeAnthony Melton, Shake Milton. These guys have to change their shot in the paint. And Capella really had a huge impact on his game because of that. What are you guys seeing from Clint Capella that is just making him have this great run as of late? And if he's acting like this for the rest of the season, like a healthy Clint Capella for the that we saw 2 years ago, do you think he can be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate?
Clint Capella, man.
What? Okay, so
I think Defensive Player of the Year candidate is a bit of a stretch. I think that's a stretch. Is it possible? Yeah. Maybe 3 or 4 years, in the past. But at this point, no. I think that's a stretch. I don't need him to be in the conversations. I just need him to do what he's been doing this last week or two. Just need him to do that. Move your feet and give effort because He's sneaky athletic when it comes to jumping. He can contort his body for somehow. He knows how to move his excuse me. He knows how to move his body when he's in jumping motion. So he's sneaky athletic. That's why he catch them lofts like that. But on the defensive end, he's moving his feet more, which means he's giving more effort. And that's what I see for the most part. That's why I think he's been so effective. Mainly, it's the effort. I just see more effort out of him.
Yeah,
What up, OG? Triple OG?
What's up, OG? You there?
Hey, look here, man. Y'all gonna start.
He must still be getting himself in.
Yeah.
Now y'all gotta call me a little. Hey, call me Mr. Too Late, dog. I know that's 2 weeks in a row, man. But I promise you, I'm gonna give on. I promise you, I'm gonna give old college try. Yeah. Maggie gave me a letter of warning today. I got a letter of warning.
You good?
Yeah.
We've been talking about
time, OG.
Next gonna be 7 days in the street, and then after that, and I'm on the road. I'm on the road driving now, man. So I'm on the road driving. So y'all got to, y'all got to bear with me. But I'm here. Let's get it.
Sean CC. What's happening?
We've been talking about Clint Capella and what we've seen from him this past 4 games. 70 rebounds in 4 games. He's looked dominant on the defensive end. What have you seen from Clint Capella, OG, that you've really liked this past week?
What I see is probably what he said may have been true. He might not have been all the way healthy. He may have not have gotten all the way up to speed. He seems like he's getting up to speed. He's playing like he's playing. It's a contract year. Look, man, I don't care what else. I don't care what it takes. If it's a contract year, then so be it. But Clint holding them boards down. And we get. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't asking for 19 boards a game. Clint give us a good old 12 or better. I'm cool with that. 12 or better from him, along with the production of Onyeka coming out the bench. Last night, Clinton and Onyeka, between the two of them, had 31 boards. They had 31 boards last night out of the center position, and both of them went for a double-double.
You know what? Both of them being on the floor at the same time actually looks good. When they put both of them on the floor at the same time.
Have we seen that?
It looks.
You
I
can't
seen it
do
a
that.
lot. But when they do
it,
it don't look bad.
But I would tinker with it. I would tinker with it if I was McMillan. But you got to surround them three with.
That playoff time. Don't think it ain't coming.
Yeah. You got to surround them with shooters. I mean, you got to have 3 guys out there who can light it up. I mean, and that would more likely be Trey DeJounte and either the Rook, Bogey, or the
Bogey when he comes back.
Holiday guy.
Yeah, just
the Rook.
Holiday season.
Adrian Griffin Jr.
Adrian Griffin Jr.
He's been really good in the spot minutes that he's gotten. And one of the things that really characterized this game for me was the fact that how sloppy both teams were on offense. We turned it over 18 times. The 76ers turned it over 17 times. We shot 23% from 3. They shot 20% from 3. There was just this game offensively in the half court was really ugly basketball. There's no sugarcoating it. It was ugly basketball.
Mikey, sometimes you're gonna get that when you got 2 very good teams.
Yep.
You got 2 teams that just hey listen, don't y'all buy Philly's record. That's a good team over there.
They are.
Right?
Holiday season.
Oh yeah, holiday season, baby.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday.
They starting out kind of slow, but it's MB. You got 2 MVP caliber players over there when Harden is healthy. Yep. And Tyrese Maxey is a baller. And then but when you got 2 good teams, that's you may get sloppy play. I know that don't make sense, but I'm telling you, you may get sloppy play because both teams going at it.
that's slowly turning into a rivalry. That's slowly turned into a rivalry, and not because JC got the poster dunk on Embiid. It's just, the way we ended their season a couple of years ago, that slowly turned into a rivalry.
It's a big part of the reason why though, OG.
That's deep.
That's one of the most embarrassing T-shirts anybody done ever been put on.
It is. It was pretty embarrassing. For us,
baptized, boy.
It was.
By the baptized.
And for me, the key to this game for the Hawks in this kind of grinded out, chippy game for the Hawks, really, it was on the defensive end. And like we said in the game against the Bucks in the third quarter, we were able to turn this game around and get out to a 20-point lead in the third quarter. Again, great third quarters from the Hawks this year so far. It's because of the defense to offense, as we see here, for example, this play by DeJounte Murray.
Because of his ability to just get
Joel Embiid here with a lazy pass. DeJounte Murray's got that wingspan and gives it unselfishly to Onyeka for the jam. We've got guys like DeJounte Murray who capitalize on, players like Embiid. He's going to turn the ball over. We've seen Joel Embiid turn the ball over when he's pressured. 7 turnovers for Joel Embiid. 7 last night. Oh, somebody's OG, mute yourself for a minute. I think you're
got your window down, OG.
I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I got to drive, man. I just wanted to come on here and give y'all a little bit. I had to give y'all just a little bit of me, man. But I got.
Oh, you're good. All right, we'll catch you later.
Be safe out there, man. Be safe out there.
Okay, all right.
Catch you later.
Bet.
As we saw in that play, like DeJounte Murray is going to capitalize on those turnovers, those lazy passes that Embiid was making. Blue, what did you see from Embiid that really we were able to force him into those 7 turnovers?
Shit, we played his game. He wants the ball in his hand. Okay, we're gonna put pressure on you. We're gonna play your lane. Since your game plan is revolved around you, when you out there on the floor, we pressure burst pipe. That's all we can do is put pressure on you. And I've been waiting on Embiid to fold because usually, I don't know, you said 7 times he got them turnovers. We made Embiid turn over 7 times in the history of our era. Embiid either showing out, trying to posterize us. Now that the Hawks, to mess with them down low, they had to hit the weight room this season because we got beat up in Miami.
We did.
But the first game we played Embiid and again, Katombo, whatever the giraffe name is. But
Giannis.
After we played them, it's like that's what I wanted to see this year when we played Bucks and when we played another big person. But when we play them big people, Embiid, Philly, when we play them, that shows me how much our power forwards, our center, and our small forward been working in that weight room. If Embiid, I seen it from Okongwu, Embiid tried to shoulder him up. He's like, no, I've been there. Come on with it. You're not finna just put your shoulder in my chest no more. I've been up here with you. So if they ain't got no strength down low, that's when Embiid gonna take over. And he just gonna slaughter us and he gonna run over us like mud dog. And that's what he gonna do.
Yeah, I like that point. I like the point that Southside brings up here too. That bogey in game 1, that was a signature moment. I remember that was my I had that on a lock screen on my phone for a few days. That picture was iconic. But Roundtable Sports, what did you think of how the Hawks were able to, how did you think the Hawks were able to pull out in such a big lead, especially when the bench didn't have the production that we were used to having from them, especially, well, besides Okongwu?
Just players stepping up. I didn't see too much of this one either. But from watching the highlights and watching how things went down, I did see us pull out to that big lead. We went up by 20, like you said. We should have won by 20. But that just goes, you get out to a big old lead and you start coasting. But it's just one of those things where we need to get out to a lead and then, keep your foot on their neck.
I got a question.
I'm on the road too.
I got a question.
So,
when would you empty your bench as a winning the game, or empty your bench as you losing the game? How many points would y'all be up for you to empty your bench or down?
Go ahead, Mark.
What's your leeway? Two sides of the spectrum. Say you winning the game. How many points must you be up by for you to empty your bench? And if you're losing, how many points must you be down by for you to empty your bench?
It depends on the point of the game, but I'm going to say
25.
20 either way. Yeah, about 20, 25.
25. 25 on offense.
I always say 10 is a motherfucker. I always say 10 is a motherfucker. Because you can fight back and forth with 10 all day, and if you never get them back in them single digits.
Yep, I agree. Never
ass is grass.
For me, it's 20.
But don't empty the bench at 10. I'm with y'all on that dub shit though. But
you should never empty the bench on 10. For me, it's a 20-point game, either a loss or a win with less than 4 minutes to go. Less than 4.
You need less than 4 minutes?
Less than 4. So probably more towards 3. 3 minutes. The final 3 minutes of the game for me.
I'm going to say 3 minutes.
3 minutes and 20-point lead. That's when, or you could do 15. You can if the other team empties their bench before you. But
I'm emptying at the 7-minute mark.
7.
Y'all ain't doing shit, and we still down up by 20.
We almost blew
7. No, in the fourth though. 7 minutes in the fourth. Pop, what's up? Say what's up to the camera.
What up to the camera?
This house live.
What happened?
He Florida everything, y'all.
Yes,
he said you look like my little brother, BB.
Oh, they ain't got no basketball team.
Yeah, right there. Get out.
Oh, he said ain't no basketball teams in Florida.
It's some basketball players though. What's up? It's some basketball players. Huh? All quiet on the Western.
Hey.
Yeah.
You got it, bro. You got it.
That was, but this game in terms, it was just, this game was, the Hawks just wanted it more defensively. And Tyrese Maxey, you're used to him going, blowing by his defender, getting to the rim, taking those mid-range shots, those open threes. He shot 5 for 17 tonight, and it wasn't just because he was missing open shots. He was taking some tough shots. The Hawks were playing great defense on him. And when he ever got into the paint, Clint Capella was right there to make him change that shot. And that was really important because we didn't let that second star for the 76ers impact us. Yes, Embiid got his. He had 26 and 13 on good shooting, 9 of 18 from the field. But we didn't let Maxey or Harris take over the game. They added 15 and 12. But there was never a point where they felt like they were in rhythm, which I really credit Clint Capella and the perimeter defense for that.
Maxey has destroyed everybody in the NBA.
What did you say?
He said he's destroyed everybody in the NBA, Maxey. And he has. But for some reason, without James Harden in this past game, it's like he was a deer in headlights.
It's so weird.
Tobias Harris, he's just a disappointment to anybody that supports him, man.
Okay,
maybe he just needs somewhere else. I mean, he just needs somewhere else to go or something, man.
I'll push back on that a little bit because obviously everybody knows it's no secret. Tobias Harris is overpaid, but he's still an above average NBA player for sure. But the contract that he's getting just makes it seem like he isn't that type of caliber player, which he's not.
Because how much he getting a year? Like 22? Like what are you getting? Like 22 a year?
Mid-20s, 4-year, $96 million, I believe. No, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Hold on, let me check.
Ain't playing like that. He sure hell ain't playing like that, bro.
Yeah, he a 5-year, 180.
Maxey or Tobias?
Tobias. Tobias Harris is on a 5-year, $180 million contract. 5-year, 180. Yeah.
What?
I thought he would get 18. I must damn. He get 18 mil. He get 180. I need to lace up me some damn shoes. Goddamn $70 million ice down.
But yeah, he's overpaid. He's still a good player. What
180. I gave him 18 mil. This man is making $180 million.
Yep.
Over 5 years, bro.
5 years. Over 5 years, which is kind of crazy.
That's about right. Okay.
But, with that, any final words on from the win last night before we move on? We'll do a little bit of a quick. We don't really need to say much about it, but we first Philly in a rematch tomorrow night. If you guys want to quickly go over what you think will be the keys and what adjustments you think the 76ers might come out with that we need to prepare for.
Do a lot of the same with interrupting those passing lanes and those driving lanes. Do a lot of the same of that. Don't stop doing that. That's what's gonna keep him be pedestrian or slightly above pedestrian.
Yeah.
Because if you allow him to be able to just do what he want to do inside the circle, he gonna kill you. Whether it's around the basket or whether it's shooting mid ranges, he's gonna kill you. So do a lot of the same what you did, interrupting those driving lanes and those passing lanes, and force Tobias Harris and Maxey, and I think James Harden to be back. Force them to beat you. Because you don't want him beating you. Because if he beats you, he gets everybody else going too. He the only one on that team that get everybody else going. So just do a lot of the same, man, defensively. Offensively, I think we work ourselves out, even when we go in shooting slumps. So I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I can see us getting the win in Philly tomorrow too. Round table of blue. Did you guys have anything key that you want to see tomorrow night versus for the rematch?
I go ahead.
Don't stop doing what works.
Don't stop doing what works. And what's working for the Hawks right now is defense to offense, which what Blackberry was highlighting right there. Don't stop getting those passing lanes because easy offense, we're gonna be able to beat the 76ers. They don't like to play fast. Besides Maxey, they're not looking to outscore their opponent. They're looking to play half-court game, have Joel Embiid be a rim protector so that they can play some half-court defense. But
it's my first time doing it.
Tyrese Maxey was struggling and is struggling without Harden. So if we can keep him, keep him out of his rhythm, I think that's going to be the key to winning tomorrow night as well. We can let Embiid get his, and he's good enough to get his. But if we keep Maxey and Tobias Harris from getting in the rhythm, we can come away with the win tomorrow. And with that, I want to just highlight the last play of the game for the Hawks right here. This was such a risky pass from Trey, but this was such a Trey Young-like play. If you didn't see, was basically a full court lob to John Collins to end the game. This was nuts.
Probably gonna save him for a little bit.
Underneath the 2 Sixers hit the deck. They couldn't stop John.
Yeah.
That was
dropping bombs in Philly, ain't we?
That was nuts. I mean, JC
bombs over bad dad.
That was nuts. JC was limping a bit after the play, but he said he was all good. So hopefully he'll be ready to go for tomorrow night. Anybody got on?
It was his shoe.
Thoughts they want to add?
Yeah.
He was limping like that because his shoe. His shoe.
Oh, his shoe.
Back okay. It wasn't wasn't nothing wrong with him. It was his shoe.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, he should be ready to go for tomorrow. That's
yeah. Pop thought I was playing World of Warcraft.
You know what? I know why. Mikey, remember last week when that dude called you? What he said you was?
Oh, he called me Fortnite.
Fortnite. We had to check the dude last week.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
That, man.
He said,
we laughed about it afterwards, though.
He said, you can use my laptop. I say, Pop, this is a podcast. He said, oh, I thought it was a game. No, because my little brother played. He played what he played. So it's like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that was it. He thought I was. Nah, it's funny to me.
With that, we'll move on to some Braves talk here for the final 10 minutes, and then I do have to. And we probably will. We actually are going to be breaking some news on Georgia Sports Nation tonight while the show is going on. The Braves have signed right-handed pitcher Nick Anderson to a contract. Nick Anderson was a successful right-handed reliever with the Tampa Bay Rays. He did have surgery. He did tear his ACL before last year, but we signed him to an $875,000 contract if he makes the big leagues and $180,000 if he's in the minors. So our 40-man roster is full right now. We don't have so there will be a corresponding move to this once it's official. We're gonna have to drop somebody for our 40-man. So we'll see how that goes. But Roundtable, what do you think of the signing of Nick Anderson? Because he's been really successful before his injury, especially with Tampa in the past few postseasons as a relief pitcher and as a closer as well. What do you think of the signing?
I like it. Low risk. Could be high reward, depending. But like you just said, he was decent. What was that? Before 21? No, not before 21. Around the COVID year, and I want to say he made the All-Star team last year, if I'm not mistaken. One of those years he made the All-Star team, so it's not too far removed from him being, a decent pitcher and in the American League at that. So it's another reliever arm, like you said. We still need a lefty, but I like the move. So
yeah, he was an All-Star in 2019. Was his breakout year with the Rays. So I definitely do like the move. Yeah, I agree. We need another left-handed pitcher, but what are y'all familiar with Nick Anderson? What do y'all think of this move from Alex Anthopoulos?
I ain't familiar with nobody until they come to the Braves. So I'll watch his highlights probably about 3 months from now. But since I'm on the podcast, I'll watch it tonight. I don't know nobody unless they come to the Braves. I've been to the games. Ninth inning came. Big dude came out there. I call him Big Cat, but I was out there. And the way he throw the ball, it was just so underhand. I said, hey, I had that crowd hype.
Are you talking about Jensen?
Yeah, big 7-4.
Yes,
I call close out Cat.
I like that name. That's good. That's good.
And then there were two big dudes. It was a big hitter and my big pitcher was out there. I say, y'all ever seen two lions fight it out? Two tigers, here it go. But the whole stadium cracked up and Buddy with the slanging them. Pat. Pat. Hey, we like to eat right. Pat, strike them out, let go. I'll be to work in the morning. How let you?
In that Mets series, that Kenley Jansen was awesome. That was so fun to watch. But Nick Anderson, if you're not familiar with him, he has a wicked curveball and changeup. So we've lost Tyler Matzek for this season. So we're definitely going to need relievers to step up in his absence. I'll answer this quickly. We don't have any updates on Bogey coming back as far as for the Hawks. My guess is that he'll be back at the beginning of December. That's just my guess. With no inside sources or anything, but he's progressing to 5-on-5 drills and running and shooting, so that's a good sign. As well, the Braves did offer Dansby Swanson the most important decision of the offseason, in my opinion, for the Braves. They did offer a qualifying offer to Dansby Swanson. It's a 1-year deal for $19.65 million. Ahead of the deadline which was Thursday for qualifying offer. What's your guys' opinion on this? I don't think he's going to take this deal.
I see both sides.
They better find a way to keep Patrick Peterson.
You said what?
I said they better find a way to keep Patrick Peterson. But it goes in Danny Swanson.
Dansby Swanson, yeah. Roundtable, what do you think? Like, what's the point of view from both sides here?
The point of view is you can take the Judge approach. You can bet on yourself this season, take that 1 year, and see if you're gonna have a better season. Now, offensively, yeah, he has improved the past 2 seasons, and just won a Gold Glove, so you got that going for you. But you run the risk of, we know how Dansby has a tendency to strike out in bunches. So you can take into account next year's shortstop class is not going to be as deep. So everybody from this class, Trey Turner, Correa, Bogart, who else is in it? Somebody else.
Correa, Trey Turner, Bogarts, and Dansby. Those are the 4.
Yeah. So the other 3 will get theirs. They're gonna get their contract. So you run the risk of waiting until next season to, get some of your own, like I said, but that's betting on yourself. Also, on this side of you coming off of, like I said, one of your best offensively seasons and a Gold Glove. So you cash in right now while you hot. And it'll probably be around, what Story got, or maybe close to what Freeman would have gotten. So it's going to be about 150, 160 is what they might touch at the tops. If he wants more than that, if he wants to try and get started about 25 to 30 million a year, that's when you start getting out of Double A's range, because he hasn't given anybody any more than 23 a year. So don't get money hungry. You need to start thinking about, are you really want to go to a team for money, or you want to stay here where we've been winning and you close to home and you can still get a nice chunk of change, nice increase. It's just a lot of stuff to take into account in baseball. Like I've told people about Acuña's contracts and all these contracts, they're not playing the whole thing out. They're not going to make it to the end of their contracts. If they produce and do that well, you're going to get what the market value is by the time it's that point. But hey, we need to lock it in. You see what the core is. You see what the winning ways have come to. You know what I'm saying? 5 years running on division, off a World Series title. You want to stay around that culture. Like I said, and you're going to be around family. You're going to be home. So what do you want to do? Or you can take the risk. Like I said, take this 1 year and bet on yourself. You could be worse or you could be better. The choice is his. It's in his court, though.
Well, it won't. It's in the ball is definitely in his court, but he's not going to take this offer. But it won't be the last one they offer him. They'll offer him. Yeah, it won't be the last one. They're gonna offer him again. I think they're trying to stay they're trying to get as close to they can to that 25 without going over it. So should I say he's trying to get as close over that 25 as possible. They trying to keep it under 25. But I think they're willing to pay 25. It's just the business side of things. It's nothing personal. Of course, they love Dansby Swanson in the Atlanta Braves organization. He's a hometown favorite. He's a hometown guy. There's no doubt about it that they want him here. But on the business side of things, you have to take the emotion out of it. You got to take your feelings out of it, and you got to think about what direction the team is going in. And of course, they're going to try to lowball him a little bit on what he should get. And he should get 25. That's what he should get. But just like Josh just said, if he thinks about it as, let me take that, I don't want to deal with the hassle of contracts. Even though we know how these athletes are. Most of them, probably like 99% of them, of professional athletes, they just let their agent handle all of that. And we know that because even the higher tier guys like Freeman, he just let his agent handle it, but agent ended up handling it like shit. And he ended up having to fire his ass. So if he's just letting his agent handle it, then of course his agent is going to try to get him as much as possible, which means he might be moving on to another team. But this won't be the last contract offer.
Guess what I found out? They have the same agent. So Dansby has Freddie's old agent.
Yep.
So let's see how they go.
Oh well, he probably gonna fire him.
Hopefully it goes smoother. Hopefully it goes smoother. But as well, the Braves, we saw the Braves.
Hopefully, the agent learned his lesson.
I believe it was. Hopefully, I believe it was yesterday. The Braves, we saw traded Jake Odorizzi away. One of Alex Anthopoulos' rare moves that didn't really work out. Odorizzi was not good for us. But we're getting back Colby Allard. And this was a Braves prospect we traded to the Rangers, actually. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's not much of overpowering velocity guy, but he's going to be able to paint corners, hopefully, as he progresses throughout his career. As I wonder if this is more of like a legitimate, hey, you're our fifth starter, or we're going to develop you more move. So what do you guys think of that as we're about to wrap up here?
That was a money move. That's it.
It's a money move. What do you think, Blackberry?
That's it. Money move.
So
money move, same thing.
So I think we're gonna have him in the minors back as well. And then, do you guys see us going for another starting pitcher at the back end, like a number 5 starter?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, we're all in agreement there. Yeah. All right, and with that, we are going to close the show. We're going to end like we always do. Tell them where can you find you at Roundtable Sports? Roundtable, you there? No. Wait.
I give him some time. I'll go ahead.
Blackberry, you go.
I think so.
Home team. Y'all know what time it is. This is what we give y'all each and every week, humbly and faithfully. And all we ask that you do is hit that little thumbs up button right there. It's free. It's absolutely free. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and y'all can tune in with us every single week. We got something every other day, man, with Georgia Sports Nation and Atlanta Falcon Nation in conjunction with Blackberry Lyrics. If you go on my channel, that's Blackberry No C, just the K. Go to my channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. It's all absolutely free. It costs you nothing. Everybody likes it. And do the same thing on Twitter. Blackberry Lyrics. That's Blackberry No C, just the K. And y'all make sure y'all catch us on the flip side. Home team.
Yeah, you can follow me at Twitter on PinWizard300 and on YouTube here at Recapping Hawks Hoops. I'm doing recaps of every Hawks game that same night after the game, so keep an eye out for those. They'll be posted to my Twitter as well. So follow me there and subscribe. Don't forget to like the videos as well if you enjoy some Hawks and Braves content. Roundtable, what about you?
Man, y'all know where to find me. Roundtable Sports on IG and Twitter, RTS Sports 2. Like I said, we talk back and forth, jump in DMs, jump on the line, whatever, sports all day, 24/7.
And Blue.
Shit, I got IG, so look like I'm gonna have to link up me on Twitter tonight so I can follow these guys, and hopefully this ain't my first, and hopefully this ain't my last time. Oh, IG BLU.GNOTES. Not Blug Notes, but Blue G Notes.
Yes, sir. We hope to have you on more shows,
like
Blue,
that.
for sure. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it for sure. But with that, we'll see you guys next week, same time, Friday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
And if you tune in next week, you might get to see what new hairstyle Maggie got next week if she decided to join us for once. Maggie.